They're kicking off the season on Thursday in Toronto. We knew that Grayson Rodriguez was not going to be ready for the season, and there was signs of him throwing out on the field lightly. But the biggest news came out when he went on Foul Territory today and spoke about his injury, which I'll be honest, a little surprised that he talked about it. But here is what Grayson Rodriguez has described: tricep soreness, elbow discomfort, elbow inflammation. No ligament damage, though, is the big thing. And then in the quote, saying that spring training is going to have to start over for him. It's tendonitis in the tricep. And he said, it's something that I've been dealing with for the last 3 to 4 years. It kind of flared up on me. So Grayson then essentially, and again, Jacob Calvin-Meyer, thank you for the tweets there. Shout out to him, friend of the show. Grayson Rodriguez essentially was saying what Mike Elias said on Sunday, that the imaging doesn't have any ligament damage. And now they're just going to have to do checkups. But I thought it was very interesting because you just don't see it happen very often. And there's the tweet from Jacob Calvin-Meyer of talking about the injury. So if it is tendonitis now let's talk about this. If it is tendonitis, that's overall good. That's a good thing.
Yes.
In the grand scheme of things. That just means you need it to kind of settle down. And if it can settle down, you're going to have to be able to then reset, so to speak. And hopefully, though, like timeline-wise, guys, the Kyle Gibson signing, which, by the way, happened also this weekend, and I don't think it's necessarily a correlation of how long Grayson can be out. I think the Orioles just really needed pitching in general. Yeah. So, and he's got to build up. Like, he's not going to be ready.
I think that's the biggest tell that it's not any correlation to Grayson news, because Grayson, it's like, I got to restart spring training, probably going to be out the first month. And then I don't know if you'd sign Kyle Gibson, who you have to build up for the first month, and you're like, I'll be back May 1st-ish. So I don't think any correlation there.
No. So look, you just need pitching. You need pitching depth. Kyle Gibson fits it. The price tag was right. He fits it in Baltimore. The guys love him in the locker room. Yeah, bring him back. But it's not the correlation, so to speak, for Grayson. But if this is the case, best case scenario, guys, I'm thinking mid-May is the earliest we would see Grayson. That would be my guess, especially when you were trying to ramp up in spring training and he never got to that ramp-up period. It had to be stopped.
My concern is, and I'm not saying that it's exactly like this, but like with Bradish last year, you're bringing back too early, or even John Means, you're bringing back too early and then ends up damaging even more problems. So if leave him out until June, maybe even by the All-Star break, bring him back then. But like my concern about that is bring him back too early. I hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I think that they will be cautious with him. And quite frankly, I think that was the other part of adding more depth.
Yeah.
Is that you give yourself some options. And then on top of that, and we'll get to the breakdowns here in a little bit, Cade Povich then get in that 5th spot. How the starting rotation.
I love that for Cade, by the way.
I do too. And how the rotation starts. If they get off to a good start and this team's winning, even if the rotation struggles, the team gets off to a good start, pressure's going to be down. And I'm not saying they're going to rush Grayson back because of pressure or the expectation for the team to do well, but people aren't going to be stressing as much. And therefore, you can have a longer window to really let things sort themselves out. But if Baltimore gets off to a slow start, pressure's going to build there. But especially with this rotation, I believe that Zach Eflin's going to do his thing. I believe that you're going to see Dean Kramer settle in. Even though Dean seems to be a guy that gets better as the season goes on, I think Dino can have a spectacular year this year.
Had a great outing the other day, too.
And Sagano is the one guy I told you I'm the most fascinated to watch. It's exciting, but they got some good pieces. You get healthy, Gunnar Henderson's going to be coming off the IL. And I do believe, by the way, when you're looking at the injury there, that's an oblique injury, he's going to be okay. And I love the fact that typically it's let's just say if we're on the safe side, 6 weeks. If you want to do that, puts him right back when he's IL stints up, he's going to come back. So I think that that's something that we need to be aware of. I'm really excited for what can be, but give me Gunnar at almost near 100% and not have him trying to battle. Remember the last couple of years, guys, even dealing with like what Austin Hayes was dealing with last year, where he tried to get back and was banged up from the get-go.
Yeah.
And then you're playing catch-up. I'd rather Gunnar try to be as close to 100% as possible because he's never going to be that the rest of the way. And I think the Orioles, the rest of the guys, though, they look ready. They look excited. Talk to Seti, too. Seti's saying he feels great. He's excited. And I think that we're going to see this Orioles team very hungry to make some adjustments here as we move forward. And once again, if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. Do this live every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 2:30 to 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time.